Hi friends. I'm coming to you this morning from my home studio rather than my school studio, so it might look a little different in here. We've been talking about the idea of character traits in our reading class. We've been reading Porpoises and Peril, and we've begun to kind of explore what we know about these characters. When we first looked at the story elements and the plot line, we talked about how we knew a little bit about some of the characters, but we didn't know much. And we talked about how we were going to be exploring what those characters say and what they do in order to figure out more about who they are on the inside. So for today's lesson, please get out your respond to reading notebook. That should be right next to you. By the way, if you feel the need, please pause this recording anytime or watch it again if you miss anything. That's the wonderful thing about making videos. So once you have your respond to reading notebook, find the next open page, and it should be right behind the page where you wrote about the problem details. The next page at the very top, please title that page Character Traits. And feel free to pause at any time, or you can watch and then watch again later to fill in the details. The big idea of our lesson today, our target idea, is that readers can tell who a character is by paying attention to their words and actions. Paying attention to their words and actions. You know, that's what we do in real life, right? We can tell when we meet someone a little bit about who they are by watching what they say and what they do. So we're going to take a closer look at Jada. And in order to really examine and analyze Jada's character traits, I'd like you to create a 3-column chart in your literacy notebook. And it's going to look like this. One column is going to say what Jada says. One column in the middle is going to say what Jada does. And the column on the right is going to say Jada's traits. Feel free to pause at any time if you want to catch up with that much before we continue. So my plan is to talk through Jada's words and actions and her traits. But I know it's going to be difficult for you to keep up with the writing in your own chart while you are listening to the lesson. So here's what I encourage you to do. I encourage you to listen to the rest of the video, and at the very end, or in the next video, I'm going to show this up close. And when I show this up close, you'll be able to see it better so that you can make sure you get all of those words into your chart. So don't worry, we'll take it in chunks. So as we read pages 10 to 14 today, we found out that the science squad scientists had arrived at the island between Taiwan and Japan, and they were getting ready to figure out what was going on with the porpoises. And here are some things that we heard Jada say. She said, "I'll meet you all outside on the terrace in 30 minutes. A little bit later on, she said, "Okay, it's time to formulate a plan." Those are more of her words. And then she says, "Let's start with what we know." And a little while later, she said, "So how do we find out what caused the balance to shift?" Those were all direct quotes of Jada's. She's telling us something about her by the words that she uses. Here are some things that Jada does in that section. Jada was the first to arrive at the terrace. That tells me she's taking things kind of seriously. Hold this way so you can see a little bit better. She powered up her tablet and plugged in the satellite receiver. Also very smart. And Jada busily typed on her tablet. These were things that she did, her actions and her words. So you might be already thinking about, well, what do these add up to? What does this really mean? What could you infer about her based on her words and actions? We can infer that she's motivated. She wants to figure out what's going on with the porpoises, absolutely. That she has strong leadership skills. She's leading her team in figuring out what they need to do to get started. And she's modeling that motivation. She's energized, right? She's ready to get going. She's also organized. Collaborative is a word that means people working together. So she's a team player. She involves all the team members and they think of ideas together. That's what collaborative means. And finally, she's inquisitive or curious. All right, friends, so I'm going to stop this here and I'll take another quick video to give you a close-up look of this chart so that you can make sure you have all of those words written down in your notebook. Please refer back to this information for future character traits lessons that are coming up. Bye, friends.